Hello, my name's Ruth Merttens, and I have, through the Hamilton Trust website, we have been providing lessons in maths and English for parents to download and use at home with their children. And I'm very happy that lots and lots of parents and teachers have been downloading these and tell us they are helping them in these very difficult circumstances. So I want to give some top tips. First thing, rather boring to say, but nevertheless true, is that we need to have a ritual, a structure to our day, and decide when are we going to do the maths, when are we going to do the English, which order are we going to do them. Having a structure is really helpful. I say this as one who knows how hard that is to actually achieve in practice. It's really good to think in advance whether you're going to do the maths first or the English first. We provide one maths and one English lesson, about an hour's worth for each day for each child. I always think do the one they don't like first while they're sort of keen earlier in the day, and do the one they really like second. Decide when you're going to do your lessons, and then that sort of helps. If you can download the lessons the night before, that 15 minutes just looking at them is worth its weight in gold. I know that's a bit of an ideal scenario, but if you can, it's brilliant. So then, having decided what you're going to do when, and having got your lessons, if you've got more than one child, a good tip is to start one child, get them going, and do the input and discuss or read or go through the teaching bit with them, and then bring the other child on stream. Because you can't, even though you're a parent, and you can do two things at once, I do know that, but even though you're a parent, you can't give your undivided attention to both children at once. And so getting one child going and then bringing the other child on once that first child is off and running is a much better way of doing it. Obviously, the first child then finishes a bit earlier than the second, but that's fine. That works out fine. In maths, we do a little bit of teaching, and then they basically get to do some sums or some practice, and then there's usually something exploratory, something that you might want to discuss with them to see how their learning went. In English, it's a little bit different. We do maybe some reading, maybe some listening, maybe some watching, and then there might be a little bit of teaching, a little bit of explanation, and then they'll be doing some writing or maybe some performing or some learning. So English is a little bit different in that it's a more woven together type experience, a little bit of teaching, then a bit of doing, then a bit of teaching. The top tips I can really give that help these sessions, these lessons go well are, first of all, number one, lots of praise. Give them lots of praise, lots of encouragement. Children need encouragement. Little sort of comments like, wow, that was good. Or look how well you did that. Or I'm going to be telling your nan about that. That was awesome. They remember the criticisms you make. They remember the things you're telling them off about, but they tend to not remember the praise. So you need to praise more than you criticize, more than you control. Lots of praise. Second tip, take turns. If they're finding it difficult, take turns. If something's a bit problematic, having a turn yourself, then letting them have a turn, then having a turn yourself, really breaks the task into manageable bits. So if I'm reading with a child, I read a bit, they read a bit. If we're writing, I scribe a bit, then they write a bit. If we're doing some rather hard calculations, I do one with them and then they do one. And just break it into turn taking really can help get them going. Third thing, an hour is long enough, And for some children, especially if they're under 7, it can be too long. So don't flog a dead horse. It's not good for you or the child. Actually, if they've done enough and they've worked hard, that's fine. That's perfect. You don't have to replicate the hours they are in school. That is not necessary. And the fourth thing, sometimes a child may not be getting something. They really may be stuck. It may not be going that well, in which case leave it. Either come back to it another day or write an email to their teacher, because they need to know, she really is struggling with long multiplication, or she really finds this type of adding very difficult. Well, tell the teacher and park it, because it isn't your job to get them out of a hole in which they're stuck, and also it can damage the whole relationship and the whole way you're building up a learning context for them. The fifth thing is have a simple consequence if they're not really trying. So if they're not really making much effort, It's good to have a simple consequence, not something, just a small thing. Like if they do really work hard and they're putting lots of effort in, I may say, you did so well in that, you know, you're going to get an extra 10 minutes screen time, or we're going to get an extra 10 minutes playing with the bat and ball outside, or whatever it is that they really like doing with you. They get an extra 10 minutes or quarter of an hour of it. If they're not really putting much effort in, you don't need to offer that reward. That reward can be withdrawn. You're not really putting much effort in today. You're not really focusing, and I need you to focus. In that case, they don't get the reward. The consequence needs to be something quite minor, but something they like, and that something can be withheld if their effort is not really there. And the last thing is to have the maths and the English isn't the only thing. Have other educational things that you do in the day: cooking, gardening, watching something together, talking about it, reading, playing games. All those things are really good. And there's so much stuff out there that is available now for parents to do with their children in these difficult times, that don't think that the maths and the English is the be all and end all. It is the central spine of their learning. It is important. That's why we provide a maths and an English session for each day for each child. It is the central spine, but it's not the total. And so we can do more than that. It is hard times, and we are at Hamilton really concerned to give as much support as possible. Good luck.